You ready? It's time for the No Pleasure Pod with BDP1. Buckle up, buttercups. Let's go.
Yo. If you hear my music, you already know what time it is. This is the No Pressure Podcast, and I'm BDP1. We have a couple of hot topics I want to cover for you today, so let's get it. So a lot of people have been asking me if I was going to cover anything on Kanye West. It's been very difficult not to say anything, and I just wanted to make sure I took my time and, anything that I was going to present was going to be not just off the cuff. So a lot has happened since all of this transpired. Kim, filed for divorce. Then she, petitioned the court to, give her an expedient process. That was granted. While this was still going on, she was dating Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live. Kanye was dating a couple of girls, young ladies. And essentially all of their business was out in the street. You'd think that was bad enough. Every day it's gotten worse. Kanye has since put out a video, an animation video, a claymation video, where he essentially is, wishing bad intentions, to say the least, of Pete Davidson. He has, he's walking around with Pete's head in his arms. He's burying Pete alive. He does list a disclaimer at the end of the video, essentially stating that, Skeet was not hurt during the making of the video. Just kidding. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. But, things have only gotten worse. Pete Davidson has sent or released text messages between he and Kanye where, Kanye is asked, "So where are you?" And Pete responds, "In bed with your wife." Like, yo, I'm in bed with your wife, he says. So, Pete is living on the edge a little bit. Kanye has already threatened him and allegedly sent, those guys, to make a statement at Pete's place of employment. Pete has offered to give Kanye help Kanye get some assistance with his mental issues, citing that he himself has struggled and knows how difficult it is. But as another pundit, commentator, podcaster, has, intimated, it's a little difficult to accept assistance from someone once they've said, "I'm in bed with your wife." So, yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to ever end up. But the part that I wanted to discuss was now things have gotten to a point where other people are chiming in, other people of a higher social status, namely D.L. Hughley, Charlamagne the God. So Charlamagne, has had some talks with Kanye in the past during interviews and things of that nature. And he's been pretty candid, his thoughts, and, didn't think that Kanye should pursue some of the other things that Kanye was involved in, namely politics and fashion. Kanye sort of shut him up, in more recent years, because Kanye is on the Forbes list, I believe, at $1.8 billion with a B dollars net worth, and Charlamagne is not. But Charlamagne has since come out and said, look, you're talking about things that you don't know about. That's not why people like you. I'd have to agree and disagree with Charlamagne. Maybe that's not why people like him, he being Kanye, but if the only thing that motivated us in life was what other people thought of us, we'd be in a lot of trouble. So Kanye's doing Kanye. That's what we're gonna, understand, and what we need to understand. A lot of people are acting like, they care about Kanye's mental stability. Yet when you look at the news, it's like everything that everyone is doing is for the purpose of triggering someone that we already know to be mentally unstable, not of our judging. He has said himself that he's, mentally unstable, talked about the bipolarism, talked about being off his meds and things of that nature. So, my question would be like, why would you, be intentionally out here trying to trigger someone when you know that it's not going to end well? You have someone he and Kim Kardashian have 4 children together. And not only did he lose his wife, but he's losing access to his family, to his children. That in itself is something that will take a lot of people just to a different level of crazy. And, for this guy to already be crazy, it's like, pouring gasoline on fire. And it's like, inviting him to do all of these different things. Oh, well, why don't we meet here and talk? And why don't we do this? And, here's some pictures of me in bed with your wife. That's like, offering gasoline. What better analogy? It's like giving alcohol to an alcoholic. So they're talking about how much they want to help Kanye, but it just doesn't look like it. Kim doesn't need any of our help with dealing with her Kanye West problem. Kim Kardashian is worth nearly $2 billion. So what are you going to do in social media? Whether that's DL Hughley or anybody else, you or me, what are we going to offer to the situation? Kanye is not listening to me. He's not listening to Charlamagne. Kim has already expressed how she feels and what she wants. She's asked for, the judge to grant this and to grant that. Okay, everybody is watching Kanye, and he actually likes that. He likes the attention that he's getting, and it's dangerous. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm offering is it's a dangerous proposition, to know that this is what he's feeding off of and how dangerous it is. Yet, we're still going to, provide that gasoline or that catalyst, Kim doesn't need our help. So all of the comments and stuff from the peanut gallery, in my opinion, we just need to, this is one of those situations that is, very personal, and it's working itself out in the public eyesight. And if something doesn't happen soon, positive to quell this, something bad is going to happen, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Somebody's going to be somewhere, somebody's going to say something, whatever. DL is every day he's addressing Kanye on his podcast, the GED section, that he does. He's addressing Kanye. It's only a matter of time before, things get bad. I think one of Kanye's really close friends showed up at DL's house a couple of days ago, telling DL, you owe Kanye an apology. You owe him an apology for, calling him out on your podcast and this and that. And I believe DL had to call security to help that out. The one thing that I did listen to that I appreciated was the interview or the pod that Trevor Noah does for The Daily Show. And he addressed this. And I listened to the entire clip from Trevor Noah on Kanye and Kim. Everything he said was totally on point. I mean, but he supported both sides of the argument and ended with the car crash analogy. You know, basically saying we all need to pump our brakes and that this is more, serious than we, understand, and that we need to take it more seriously because, this can be bad quickly. And he said, I'd rather we be overly cautious than for us to find out down the road or look at it down the road and be like, we should have done more. And I totally agree. This thing started out solely as a tabloid form of entertainment, and now it looks like it's slowly progressing into a lot more than that. So, you got, once again, DL Hughley, you got Charlamagne and others, and I'm asking these entertainers and people like that to please take a higher road because they have these huge platforms and people listening, and people are clowning Kanye because DL Hughley is clowning him. People are, saying bad things because they hear Charlamagne saying bad things. And I'm sitting here and I'm just going to say this, DL, is a comedian. He actually has said, I think he and Kanye have come back and forth and they've been like, down the road, we may end up being friends and look at this and be like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. But DL has recently come out and said, okay, look, there's certain things I can't forgive. You sent somebody to my home. I can't forgive that as a grown man. But it's like, it's just, there's constant fuel being poured on this situation. I saw where Charlamagne had given him Donkey of the Day, literally, talked about, the whole turn the other cheek situation, but, then gave him Donkey of the Day. And, he did this like right after, excoriating Kanye for being a walking contradiction. So how can you in one breath say, hey, Kanye, let's be better, and then give him Donkey of the Day and clown him in front of millions of people on one of the largest radio stations in the country? I personally don't know Kanye West, but I'll say I don't agree with how he's handled these issues publicly at all. But I also don't pretend to know how he feels. And I think that's where a lot of us are making a mistake. A lot of I think this, I think that, you have no idea. I promise you don't have $1 million, let alone 1.8 billion. And, to have that much money and still be unhappy means that there's something deeply wrong. We know that a few years ago he lost his mother, who was his best friend and the love of his life. So, I think that we need to give him some slack, give him some grace, and give him the attention, the real attention that he really needs, which is, that of a medical nature. It's a shame that almost everyone looks at the wounded in this situation and they're finding a reason to pile on. 1 week it's people are on Kanye's side, the next week they're on Kim Kardashian's side, and these people, they don't know you, you're not helping. And there's no justification for wanting to see this train wreck. This is a highly personal matter being played out in public. If you're not going to help, just keep it to yourself. And I'll end with this. What would Dave Chappelle do? Yo, real quick before I let you go, remember, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. BDP, one love.